Yeah. Welcome everyone to the CAD section of this module. Today we'll be going through another important set of commands. So basically we started the drawing commands and yeah, on lecture 2 we started the drawing commands and continued to the line commands, circle and arc command if you recall. Um, yeah, so today we'll go from there. So I have a couple of objects in my drawing. I will use them um, yeah, as the time goes on. Um, yeah, so here I have drawn these objects on different layers. So I told you to use layers. So they are super important. Again, I'm telling you, I will come to the layers section in a future lecture. So until that, so bear with me, okay? So when you have layers, you can do very cool things. It's very convenient. Say for example, if I don't want to see the dimensions, I can simply go to the drop down layer and here I can simply click on this light bulb and the dimensions are gone. They are not deleted, they are hidden. Right. Okay, let's keep it here and I'm going to shift to the outer line layer. Yeah. So let's see. So you were talking about different commands like line, circle, arc in the lecture number 3. In lecture number 4, um, yeah, we have the other commands like rectangle. Before coming to the rectangle commands, let me show you this technique. It can be useful in some situations and yeah, you guys check whether this is useful for you or not. Say for example, for like a circle, so I have created a circle with random dimensions. I don't know anything about that. Where the origin or where the uh, what is the radius? So if you want to modify the properties of like some objects, so there are different object types which you can do these kind of operations. Okay? Say for example, for a circle, you can easily do it. You can right click. Sorry, first you have select the circle, click on the circle, then right click, and there you have this one called the properties. So here you can manipulate different properties of the circle using this palette. Okay, this is called as a palette, property palette. Say for example, if I want the radius to be exactly 25, I can. So what I do is I click on the field radius, and here I can simply type 25. You can see the radius is getting updated. If you want, you can change the center as well. If I want, I can simply type 0 and 0. So now the circle has moved to the origin. Sorry, the center of the circle has been, it is coincident with the origin point. Okay, so yeah, there are cool things that you can do, like circumference. I doubt you will need these things, but there, it is there. Okay, like if I want, so that is the area of the circle is that much of unit millimeters or yeah unit requirements. Okay, yes, you can do that, but yeah, okay, I will change it. So that is nice feature. So it is not only for circles. You can do it. You can control the properties for um, lines, arcs, polylines, dimensions. We will learn them in future, text, and so forth. So if you want to do some custom modifications to an object, You can select the object, right click, and go to properties. If you like to use the keyboard, you there is a shortcut, Control 1. When you press the Control and Control button plus the number 1, so that will bring the property palette. So this one, okay, Control 1, and it will go away. So you can actually bring it and close it with the same combination. Control 1 to open and close. I find that very useful. Um, I like to use the keyboard more than the uh, like the menus and the ribbon. So right now we don't have menus, but it used to be like that. Anyway, so that is the properties. And let me show you these two commands, the rectangle and the polygon, before we go to the fun part. Okay, let me put it somewhere there. Right, rectangle. Basically, it will create a rectangle. So you can find the tool in the Home tab, Draw Panel, and Rectangle. Simple. Okay. Otherwise, there is a command alias, REC, for rectangle. Or you can type the full command. I don't like typing too long command. I can simply type command alias, REC, for rectangle. Okay. So let me type REC, hit spacebar. You know, right now um, right now you should know that spacebar and the enter is equivalent in AutoCAD. So they are more or less the same. Yeah, there are some situations where enter and spacebar has two different functions. Yeah, we will discuss them in future. For the time being, you can assume they are almost identical. Okay. Right. So if you look at the command line, it will ask you to select the first corner. Once you select the first corner, you will see in the command line, now you can have to select the second corner. So I can go this way, downward, left up, left down, and depending on where the cursor is, I get a different rectangle, right? Simple. The thing you have to remember is if I go to the properties, now here you don't have what is called the length, width. So those controls are not there. So yeah, it is a special type of object. So it is not a rectangular object. It is kind of what's called a polyline, which I haven't discussed. Yeah, so let me take the rectangle command again. Let's say if I want to create 100 by 100, so I select the first point, then I can use the relative coordinates, right? For the next or the second corner point, I can type at 100, 100. So you combined the whatever the knowledge that you gain from relative coordinates with the new commands. That's very simple. Okay, so like if I want 100 by 75, I can type 100 at 100, 75. Length is 100, width is 75. Okay, so this dimension is 100. That dimension is 75. So yeah, that's how you use the rectangle command. And grouped with the rectangle, we have the polygon command. This can also be useful in some application. Yeah, I will simply explain this one. So basically, it will create a polygon. So rectangle is another polygon, but in this case, it will be like equal-sided polygon. So first input it is going to ask is how many sides, number of sides. So if you want triangle, so it's going to be 3. Okay, right. So then there will be some bunch of things, and Now I can create a triangle. Yeah, I don't need that. Let me delete that and also delete this rectangle as well. Okay, let me take this circle and put it somewhere here. Right. Okay. Now I'll take a copy of this one. By the way, I will discuss the copy command today. So bear with me until, yeah, you will learn it very shortly. Okay, let me demonstrate what is this polygon. Okay, now I have the polygon command. By the way, I think it is POL for polygons. Yes, it is. POL is the alias. Right. So let's take a number of sides to be 6. So this is like a hexagon. So, so now AutoCAD is asking me what type of polygon are you going to create? So let me so it is telling me to select a center. Usually this is not how we do a polygon, right? So you do the sides. So the default in AutoCAD is not that option. Instead, we are asked to choose a center. Let me just blindly follow what it says. So I chose the center of that circle. Okay, now it is telling me it is throwing me more options. See, so here, let me zoom in. Yeah, so it is asking me what type, inscribed in a circle or circumscribed about a circle. So let's see these two options. So let me select the first one. Okay, now I chose the first circle and let me select the quadrant map. Quadrant, yeah, it is there. Right. So this is what we get for inscribed in a circle. So let me put this into the hidden layer. Um, so that is called inscribed in a circle. So you see the polygon is always inside this outer circle. Yeah, plain English. Okay. So similarly, I can show you can see the second option, the circumscribed about a circle. Now the polygon will be outside the circle. So the circle will be inside the polygon in this case. So in the previous case, polygon is inside the circle. Now circle is inside the polygon. So a small difference, but yeah, these are the two options. So yeah, these are two made the default option, I would say. But if you want to go with you want to draw the polygon with you know only the length of a side. In that case, you have the first option. So rather selecting the center, you select the edge option. So now I can simply specify the length of the edge. Let's say at how much? Let's say 15, 0. That is the second point. So the length of this edge is 15 millimeters. So yes, there you have it. Three options of the polygon command. By the way, my mouse is not functioning well, so you'll see when I zoom, it goes crazy. Okay, so yeah, yeah, forgive me for that. Right. So those are the polygon command and the rectangle command. So they are sometimes useful, but yes, yeah, you decide when to use them. Okay, I will not comment on that. Right. Having cleared that, So now let's come to the fun part of today's lecture. So the modify command. So um, in CAD, I would say uh, you do the modifying frequently compared to drawing. So you draw less and modify more. Okay. So in manual drafting, you always do the drawing, right? So you are doing less modification. That's what you need to do because it will become too messy if you do a lot of modifications in your hard paper. Um, yeah, but here you will do a lot of modifications. Right. Let's see what AutoCAD has to offer when it comes to modify commands. So AutoCAD will AutoCAD has like a very good um, set of modify commands which are useful, and you had been using some, actually not some, you had been using one modify command even though I haven't discussed about it. Okay, so can you guess it? It is the erase command. So the erase command, so that's the command when you delete, let's say if I draw a circle, select it, and when I press the delete button, actually that is the erase command. So I have to see, erase one found. So AutoCAD has mapped the erase command into a keyboard erase button. Simple as that. Okay, so this you can see this in almost every software, or every CAD software. Okay, at least the one I am where I have experienced. Okay, right. Okay, okay. Let's see. The first modify command. By the way, if you want to find the modify commands, they are located in Home tab. Next to the draw panel, you have the modify panel, and next in between the annotation and the draw. So you'll find the modify. Okay, it is in the home tab. If you see different tabs, I told you you need to go down here, and from here you select drafting and annotation. So that will do the trick. Okay, so go to home tab, modify panel, and here we have the modify commands. Let's talk about the first one, move. Let's say move basically does what it says. It's going to move an object from current location to another location. So let's see this command. So I take the move command. Oh, by the way, the command alias is m. Okay. I think you can type mv as well. No, it is not. Yeah, it is a different command. Sorry. M for move. Uh, okay. So now AutoCAD is telling me to select the objects. Yeah, let's select this as the software says. You have to uh, be obedient. Okay. Enter. Okay, always in this modify command, after a selection, you need to press enter. Okay. And yeah, if you are doing multiple selections, that is how you confirm that you have completed selecting these objects, and you need to proceed to the next step of the command. So yeah. Um, so M, select these objects, enter, or the spacebar. I press the spacebar. Right. Now AutoCAD is telling me to select what's called the base point. So that is something important. The base point. Um, so when you use the move command, copy command, rotate command, scale command, um, it will ask for the software will ask for a base point. Okay, base point is where you uh, to in simple terms, it is where you grab the object. Okay, if you want to move this, you need to hold it somewhere, right? Think about a physical object. So like say the mouse. If I want to move it, I need to grab it somewhere. So like that. You can't see it. Okay. So likewise, if I want to move these objects inside AutoCAD, I need to grab it. So AutoCAD uh, need you to select that point, and without that, you will not be able to proceed. You can proceed, but you will get, I would say, garbage results, and I will not use them, the default option. Okay, so always you need to grab from a valid point. Okay, not a valid point, I would say a suitable point. So this base point will depend what you want to do. Say simply, if I want to coincide this point with this point, let's suppose. Okay, let me put a circle here. So let's suppose I want to move these objects such that this point, okay, that point will be coincident with the center of the circle here, this point. In that application, you know that I need to grab the object from here. So yeah, these are like common sense, but you need to apply your common sense, okay? So select the object, press enter, then you select the base point. Yeah, my zoom is going crazy right here. See, now AutoCAD gives a preview how the object will be moved. So if I want to bring this point to the center, so you move the cursor here, when you see the uh, like the small cross at the center of the circle, you bring the object and snap to that. Okay. So now this center of that circle and edge of that line is coincident. Okay, simple as that. Yeah, that is how basically the move command works. Let me erase that circle. And by the way, you can use like uh, relative coordinates if you want. Say if I want to move the object by 100, I can type 100 units along x direction. That's what I want to say. 100, 0, like that. So it moved from this point to that point. That is 100 units. Yeah, that is the move command. Okay. So similarly, we have the copy command. So it is going to copy. So that's what it will do. So move will move from current point to a different point. Copy will actually move a copy. So it will keep the original where it is and move the copy to the whatever you want to, wherever you want to place it. Okay. So same, it is almost identical. So first you select the object. By the command alias is CP, or you can type CO. Both will give you copy command. CP. Otherwise, you can type CO. So they are all copy. Right. Only one. Okay, only one of them. Not don't type both of them. Just CO. I type CP. Enter. Select whatever you want to copy. Enter. Now then you select the base point. and the destination point or the second point. Again, you can use a relative coordinate if you want. I can type 100, let's say 200, 0, similar to the move command. It is almost like the move command. Only difference is it will create a copy and you will keep the original where it was. Okay, no modification to the original or the source object. You can say like that. Right. Yeah, that's basically how the uh, move command and copy command works. Okay. Let me move this one to a different location and zoom to that. Right. Move. Let me talk about the rotate and then go to other commands. Okay. So the rotate. So as the name implies, it's going to rotate. Right. So select the command. Command alias is RO for rotate. RO. Enter. You select. So it will the rotate command will also ask for a base point. Okay, now this base point is very important. Okay, so that is like the pivot point in the rotation. So if I want to rotate it by 90, yeah, okay, let me do it again. Row, select the objects, select a base point. Okay, now AutoCAD is asking me to type an angle. Okay, specify rotation angle, or otherwise there are two options. I will discuss you one of them. Other option is straightforward. I'm not going to discuss both. Sorry, both of them. Right. Now it is asking for the angle. In the polar coordinates, I told you that AutoCAD takes the default positive angles to be counterclockwise, right? So that convention is there. And angles will be in degrees, okay, not radians. So if I want to rotate these objects by 90 degrees, then I simply type 90. Okay. So if you want the negative rotation, let me undo. Rotate. If I want to rotate it in the other way, I can type negative 90. So that's all. So it's going to rotate in the clockwise direction. Counterclockwise is positive. Clockwise is negative. Okay, always remember it is similar to the convention we use in mathematics. Clockwise is negative. Clockwise angles are negative. Counterclockwise angles are positive. Okay. Right. So keep that in mind. So let me take the rotate. Rotate by 90. So that's gonna give me the original location. Okay. So let's suppose, by the way, this is like val, simplified val, okay? So there are a lot of details missing. So yeah, we will see them in future. So let's suppose I want to align this on that line. So let's say I want to match this edge, that edge with this line. So when I do the operation, uh, this bottom edge should be coincident with this angle line. Okay, so that is my requirement. So if you encounter something like this, how can I do it? Okay, if you encounter an application like that, what can you do? Okay, actually there is a command for this called align. I'm not going to teach it today. Maybe I will teach it on a different day. So in this lecture, I will show you how to do the same thing, how you can get the same output using move with the rotate command. Okay. So let me take the move command. So what I want is this edge to be here or wherever I want. So let's say somewhere here. If I want it here, intersection of these two lines, I can do it. It's simple. So yeah, let's say this point, intersection of these two lines. This edge should be here, right? Okay, so you know how to do it. Move command, select, enter, base point, right. I don't need that line anymore. I delete, I press the erase. Sorry, I press the delete button, which will bring the erase command. Okay. Let's zoom in. Now, the question is, how can I rotate this object such that the bottom is parallel with this angle line, with this line? Okay, so that is the problem. Okay, so if you want to do rotation, then yes, you need the rotate command. That's all. So you take the rotate command, select the object. So I selected them. By the way, if you accidentally select this one, what you do is shift, click, press and hold the shift key and click. By doing so, you will be able to remove any object from the current selection set. So if I want to remove this from the selection, I simply hold the shift key down and click. Okay, shift down, click. So that will remove the object from the current selection set. So it is a very useful option. You will need it a lot when you're working in AutoCAD. Shift select. Okay, by the way, to add into the current selection, you don't have to press anything. You simply select whatever you want. Okay, like that. In some software, you need to press Control to add to selection, but in AutoCAD, the default is you don't need any additional keys to add to the current selection. I will discuss them in when we come to the selection, different selection methods. There are a lot to cover. Right, I have selected this. So enter. Uh, Additionally, you can press right click. Let me show you. Rotate, select. To confirm my selection, you can press enter, space bar, or otherwise you can right click. So that is same in this scenario. Okay, now this is my origin. If you know the angle of this plane, you can directly type the angle. But I don't know it, so I don't need it actually. So therefore, if you don't know this angle, this is something you can do. By the way, I don't need the angle in this situation. Uh, I can simply select the edge. Um, yeah, that's what you do. Simple as that. Okay, let me undo. So take the rotate, enter, or right click, select the base point. So rather typing the angle, I can select the end point of this line. Okay. If you select the other end, it will be also aligned, but the orientation is reversed. If you want that, that is fine, but I don't want that. So I need the flange to be oriented in this way, like that. Okay. So here we did not use any angle. We told the software, hey, this is the line. These are the 2 points. You calculate the angle by yourself. So yeah, that's what computers are for. You don't do the hard work. You tell it to do the hard work. So yeah, simple, right? So yes, that's something that you can use and that you should use. Uh, right, the rotate command. Let's suppose you want, uh, so now this object is rotated by an arbitrary angle, which is same as the angle of this plane. Um, let's suppose I want to correct this. I want this edge to be horizontal again. Um, so this is how you do in that case. So you select the rotate, uh, select the object, then enter, select a base point. If you know the rotation angle, you can type it negative, then it will give you the correct orientation. But the problem is, I don't know that angle, and it is not like a straightforward angle like 35 degrees, 25.2 degrees. So it will be some random number. Okay. If, if that is the situation, this is what you do. So if you look at the command line carefully, you will see an option called reference. Okay. Next to copy. So that's what I'm going to use. Reference. So AutoCAD is telling me to enter as reference angle. So for that, I am going to select these two lines. Sorry, these 2 points. Any 2 points on this edge, right? So that is my reference angle, or basically that is the zero angle. Okay, so now AutoCAD will assume this is the zero angle. If I rotate it from there, it is going to calculate. Um, now, what I need is to make this edge horizontal. So what I do is turn on auto. So when I turn on auto, you can see I am limited to like 4 orientations. Okay. So if I come to whatever the desired orientation, I can simply click. Let's say this is what I want. I can simply click somewhere here. So that will give me the correct rotated form. So it's very easy. So you take the rotate command, select a base point. So these are like standard stuff. Then you go to the reference option, select 2 points and turn on auto and click here. So that will undo the initial rotation. So you have the bottom edge parallel with the x-axis. So that's all. That's what I wanted. Okay. So this is what I got. So you can manipulate these objects very precisely. I hope I did not confuse you guys. Right. So that is the reference inside the rotate command. Okay, I don't need that. Maybe I don't need that either. Right. So those are the basic modify commands: move, rotate, copy. There are like scale, stretch. Uh, Before coming to them, I will teach you two of my favorites. Actually, three, three of my favorites, I would say. The trim and the offset. And the little brother of trim is extend. Yeah, we will look at this. Okay, so let me take a copy of this one. I don't want to damage that. Right. Okay, let's delete this one. Okay, so let's try to redraw or recreate this arc section. Right. So if you look at, take an take an idea, or if you look at this carefully, you will notice that this arc is tangent to this vertical line and that horizontal line. So let me bring the dimensions as well. And the radius is 50. Okay, so we need the dimensions now. So tangent to this one. So arc is tangent to the vertical line, horizontal line, and the radius is 50. So I want to create the same arc here. So if you look at your arc arsenal, okay, so you have a lot of arcs, but maybe it is somewhat intimidating at the first. Yes, you can use arcs, but I'm going to show you how to do it with a circle. Okay, if you look at the circle, there are only few compared to arc. I told you that this arc is tangent to this line and the horizontal line, right? And radius is 50. So if you look at these, do you notice this? We have an option called tan radius. Okay, two tangent lines plus a radius. I'm going to use that one. So this is my first tangent line. Okay, tangent object, that is the correct term. And this is my second tangent object. Now the radius. Radius is 50, right? Hit enter. Okay. Um, you kind of got the correct arc. I think I made a mistake. Yeah, here it is not tangent. Okay. Okay, that's fine. Okay, my initial guess was wrong in this case. So it is not tangent to these two lines. So um, yeah, so that is the conclusion. So in here, I need to use an arc option. So it would be the very easy start and radius. That is that start and radius. So for this application, that would be the yeah, suitable one. Start and radius would be how much? 50. Okay, other way. Then radius. Then so you will get that little arc section. Yeah, no, I could not show you the thing I wanted. Anyway. Okay. Right. For that, let me take this view. So I'm going to do the same thing, hide the dimensions. Right. Make a copy. Put it some. Right. Let me break the dimensions. Okay, I'll show you two of my favorite commands. So I'm going to erase those and those. And okay, let me erase these two. Yeah. Um, so the outer circle or outer arc, the correct term is arc. Outer arc is it has the radius of 30. So here you can use the arc command and basically draw it. Um, Otherwise, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do. Rather using an arc, I'm going to draw a circle. So that is much easier. So I know the radius 30. I know the center. Um, Here radius is how much? 30. Yeah, 30. Enter. But you see a problem, right? Okay, let me erase these two as well. So this is a full arc. Sorry, full circle, not an arc. But I need this one. So now I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to take the line command, snap to the quadrant, you see that this line, this line is horizontal. So that means it is going through the quadrant. So that is that. And here. Okay. Exact. So pick somewhere here. Yeah, I'll stop somewhere there. And I will do the same thing here. So I randomly chose the point. Okay, now the thing is, I have these two edges. It's not completed. And I need to remove this part of the circle. So for that, we have what is called the trim command. It is a super useful command, and I want you to use it. Okay, and not in assignment number 1, but starting with assignment number 2, you can use it. Okay, so I take the trim. By the way, the command area is tr for trim. In earlier versions, you had to store something called cutting edges, but in newer versions, like in my case 2022 and later versions, you don't have to select something. So what you can do is take the trim command and click. So now you see this region of the arc is in gray color. That means, and there is a cross near the cursor. That cursor is called as the pick box. Okay, another term. Okay. Uh, yes. So I can simply click here. That will remove the section. Simple as that. Okay. Um, for those who that will be using an older version of AutoCAD, in here, by the way, this is in newer versions also. This is very useful. You got the trim command. Now, instead of clicking, you select this option called cutting edge. Now you select these two lines. So cutting edge is basically like if you select so with respect to that object or multiple objects, you are going to cut. So in this case, I want to remove the region between these two lines. So that in that case, my cutting edges will be these two lines. Okay. Enter, you select the cutting edges. Now see the preview. So if I want to remove this side, I can click here. If I want to remove that side, I can click there. So I want to remove the left hand side. Enter. By the way, that the feature is very useful. So that feature is very useful, especially when you have a lot of objects in between. Um, yeah. So if you have too many objects, you need to click multiple times in order to cut that region. But if you select these two cutting edges specifically, then yes, it's just one selection. Actually, three selections. Uh, selection of two lines and the selection of the region. Okay, so that is what trim can do. Okay, let me right. what's called fillets. To show you something. Okay. Um, so here you can see these gaps, right? So what I want to do is I want to fill these gaps. So previously you saw how to use the trim command. Now I will show you how to use the extend command. The command alias is ex for extend. Enter. So here also you have what's called the boundary edge. So basically trim will cut, extend will, yes, it will extend. Simple as that. So yeah, it will find the next closest object and extend the line, arc or whatever until that. So here, if I want to extend, I can click here, click there, and here, like that. So here, you see that if I want, even though I need it to end somewhere here, but AutoCAD sees the next boundary is here. That is the next boundary because there's a gap. And here, okay, I will click here and extend it to there, and now close the gap. Done. Now here I want to trim this region. Okay, so for that I take the trim command, tr, and stop it there. Okay, enter. Simple, right? So by the way, there are different ways to do it, and there is another very easy method, but I'm not going to show you today. Maybe next week I will show you. Yeah, that is a very convenient, sorry, a quick tool, and you will see me using that command quite often. So maybe too often, I would say. All right. Yeah, that is the extend command and the trim command work together. Um, okay, I'm going to load you with one more information. Um, so let's say you are inside the trim command, but you want to extend. Instead of trimming, you want to extend. So you can temporarily shift to the reverse. Like say if you are inside the trim, you can quickly change to the extend by holding the shift key down. So I am inside the trim. So when I'm not holding the shift key down, you can trim. If I press and hold the shift key, you are extending. See? Okay. So when you press shift 5 times, there is something called sticky key. Yeah, that will come. Shift hold, you are extending. Now you are trimming. The same is true for the extend command. So now you are extending. If I hold the shift key, I am trimming like that. It is useful in some situations. Okay, so you don't have to invoke the other command. You can use uh, the reverse command within the same. Okay, that is the beauty of AutoCAD. Okay. Oh, wrong command. Okay, let's say I want to draw the walls, these internal walls. What is the thickness? That's what delta y is 5. Okay, so let's suppose the wall thickness is 5. Um, um, by the way, this is not the correct wall thickness. So that is wrong. So this is not how it's supposed to be. So yeah, that is just for illustration. Let me delete this one, otherwise you guys will take this. Okay, let's suppose I want to draw the wall of this one. Wall thickness is 5 millimeters. So what I want is a line parallel to this one, but that is 5 millimeters to the left side, sorry, right side. Now in that case, what you can do is you can use the copy command, select the line, enter, select the base point, and you can type at 5, 0, and then you can push this to the hidden line, right? Yes, you can do that, but I don't like it. So this is the command that I'm going to use. It is called offset. Offset. Okay. The command alias is O. You can type O, enter. So that will bring the offset command. So the first input is the distance. So let's say the distance between the line I need and the existing line is 5 millimeters or 5 units. So I type 5, enter. So now what to do is select the object. See, when I move the cursor, based on my cursor location, it will give me a different line, either left side or the right side. I want the right side, so I click on the right side. Same here, click, see, and I click on the left side. I have something, but not quite what I need. So now this is what I'm going to do. So I go first, change to the hidden line layer, take the offset command. This is the offset command. So under the layer option, I change that setting to the current option. By the way, this will be the default will be source. You change that to the current. So that means the new object will be on the current layer, or in this case, the hidden line layer. So the source object is on outer line layer, but the new object will be on the hidden line layer. So that's, yeah, that's an advantage actually. So the distance is 5, enter. Okay, simple as that. So now I can type the extend command, ex, and extend here. Okay. So you are not drawing anything here. You take this line, did the offset, use the extend command, and extend to this edge and to the upper edge as well. And similarly, so you don't, let's say you don't have this line. Come on. It's all about offset. So you don't have to know the length. You can select 2 points to define the length. So that is my Okay, let me change to hidden like that. Okay. So these kind of things very easily can be done with the offset. So you will see me doing using the offset, trimming, extending, uh, very frequent. Okay, so that is not the correct internal. Yeah. So don't draw like this. That is wrong. It is more complex. Right. Okay, let me show you one more thing. Actually, this is the long way uh, to create what is called the fillet. So let's suppose you want to add the fillet. Uh, Fillet radius is, let's see, how much? Okay, 5. Fillet radius is 5. Well, let's say I want to add a fillet here. There can be a couple of ways to do it, but I will show you one way called the tan radius option. So here I take the tan radius, 2 tangent lines, and a radius. So I select that as the tangent, and the radius is 5. So I get this circle. Okay, let me show you here as well. Circle command, tan radius. This first, by the way, you can go order in here. Order does not matter, but it will matter in some cases. 5. Okay, so I get these 2 circles. So now you know what you should do. So you need to remove these unwanted stuff. So if you want to remove, then here is trim, tr. So you take the trim command, cut this one, cut that one, cut that one. And here also you take the trim, cut, 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 get that. Okay, that is easy, right? But there is much. This is not the recommended method. So there is a very, okay, let's say it is super easy compared to what you saw. Yeah, I'll show you next time. So for the time being, I think this should be it. The trim, um, offset, extend. So these are very useful, and I want you to practice them. Say for example here. So these 2 lines, when you're doing, you can just draw this one, and the distance is 10. No, distance is 12 actually. So you simply take the offset command, type 12 for the distance, put it here. So that will give you the correct line. And here, so this line, you can simply offset by 10 by 10. And here I can simply draw a line. So that is much easier. And here apply a trim. See, simple as that. Couple of trims and and an offset. Okay, so that is the beauty of offset command. Here also you can use the offset. So the distance is like 5. Yeah, it is 5. You can simply delete these two lines, offset 5. Okay, trim. For the cutting, I will use the cutting edge here. For the cutting edge, I'm going to use this circle and that line and that line. Enter. So I can cut it precisely. Like that. So you end up with yeah, the original object, which was, yeah, which I removed and re-added. Yeah, that's a good exercise, I think. So you try to do the same thing with the new commands. Okay, so I told you at the very beginning, um, there are like 100 different ways to do the same thing, but you need to identify what is the easiest and uh, what is the one with less hassle without any additional work. Okay, that would be it. And remember, those who are doing the CAD practical number 1, you are not allowed to you are not allowed to use this modify command, not even the auto. Okay, so like you can select enable auto and say point and shoot, if you remember last time. Like if I want to draw a line with 80, I can select a starting point and type 80. So that will create a line with 80 units. If I want to go up by 40, point in the upward direction, enter. So that will give me 40. So here if I want uh, 80 and 40, so I have a rectangle. So this is not allowed in your practical number 1. So please don't use them. Yeah, if you have any questions, please come meet me, and I'm very happy to answer your questions. That would be it for today's lecture, and I want you to have a very nice day, and see you all on the practical classes. Okay, don't miss the classes. Yeah, that would be that was not good. Okay, that's all for today. Yeah, bye.